Hello folks, and welcome back to the Over Manga Cast. That time we woke up in a podcast and had to explain manga, our heated adventures, overanalyzing manga that we find interesting. My name is Sam, and on this episode, we dive into your average, everyday, totally normal rom-com. You know, just a bit of drama, guy's girlfriend cheated on him in middle school, and then they run into each other again in college when he's trying to move on, body swap, usual stuff. It's Hope You're Happy, Lemon by Mizuki Kishikawa. We read chapters 1 through 11, so make sure to check your calendars and enjoy the show. Hello folks, and welcome back to the Over Manga Cast. My name is Sam. As always, here at the top of the show, we talk about our familiarity with what we read this week. For me, I had not heard of this. I'm pretty sure that when we were trying to decide what to read next on the show, we were just kind of scrolling what was popular, and this seemed like a funny title. Matt, am I remembering correctly?
I think, yes, this seemed like a funny title, and then we read the synopsis and we're like, what the hell?
It's even funnier when you read that. Jay, how about you? Did you hear about this?
No clue. Nope.
All right, and Jacob.
Well, I've watched all of the Firebomb runs. I really liked the potato only challenge. I thought that ended in a really clever way.
Wrong lemon.
Oh, yeah, no, I've never heard of this manga before.
Okay. We open up our tale as so often happens with rom-coms, with our main character's heart getting savagely broken. Our protagonist here opens up with a memory asking, "Answer me, Lemon! Why are you breaking up with me?"
Yeah.
Her reasoning is quite something. It's because I've been cheating on you with 3 guys. Sorry about that, heart emoji.
It's the calm delivery. It's just like, yeah, I just been seeing 3 other guys on the side. I don't know. It just wasn't working out.
I like how, even from main character Saono's perspective, obviously he's got, a limited and skewed perspective on this interaction.
And a huge axe to grind.
You can still kind of see that it was a spur-of-the-moment lie.
I mean, but
something up.
But I mean, how spur of the moment is you have to think of how audacious that reason is. I would have at least lied about some family member dying first before, oh my god.
Lemon doesn't make good decisions.
What?
Very few people in this manga make good decisions.
But our protagonist wakes up from this flashback nightmare. He is Sunao Akiyoshi, and he was just having a nightmare about how his childhood friend turned girlfriend, now ex-girlfriend, Lemon Nishikawa, had ruthlessly dumped him after admitting to quite the audacious act of adultery.
I'm just saying, maybe part of the reason he wasn't able to move on was just how do you move on from that? What the hell?
It's so outlandish.
If she gave a more mundane, reason, probably would have had an easier time getting over her. What?
My favorite thing we find out is the implication that after he asked why, and she said, "I've been cheating on you with 3 guys," there were no follow-up questions for 10 plus years.
To be honest, if I heard that, I wouldn't have touched that either. So I'm just like, whatever. Whatever,
Yeah, if your boyfriend was cheating on you with 3 guys.
I can kind of believe that. I'm pretty sure it was in middle school where that happened, and then because in middle school, if I had gotten hit with a revelation like that, I would overly dramatically sever all ties as well.
We also don't actually see the aftermath of that. It's just a single moment. Maybe it doesn't.
We see flashbacks of them in middle school that seem to imply there was no follow-up.
Well, middle school is before they broke up. They broke up going into high school.
Yeah, they did.
It's fine. He doesn't have to worry about Lemon anymore. He's got a new heartthrob to worry about. Natsumi Kogahara, his senpai at college, who he is utterly smitten with.
Doesn't deserve to be in this situation.
She really doesn't.
She is the purest of hearts, the purest of souls, and she is just thrown in the middle.
She loves
She
Edward.
has no idea anything is even happening right now.
She loves Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
She gets caught in a love tesseract and has no idea what's going on.
But yeah, they know each other because they are both members of the film club,
and they are the club is going out for drinks tonight because the club president broke up with his girlfriend who happened to be cheating on him. Wow.
fair.
Wow,
Crazy
that's a trigger. Tell me about it, dude. Tell me about it. Apparently, my high school girlfriend, who was also my childhood best friend, cheating on me, broke with me, cheating on me with 3 guys, dude.
I feel so bad for MC because he legitimately does try and like talk through this emotion with Kogohara, but unfortunately her immediate reaction is like, "Oh yeah, cheating's the worst. Oh, can't even stand it." Also, we're not talking about this
Baggage.
anymore.
No
baggage.
No baggage.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
I don't know if I could date somebody who's got hang-ups about his ex.
Oh, that comes up in the at the drinking party in the worst possible situation.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, it doesn't help that in classic rom-com fashion, nobody just says anything in this. They all talk past each.
No, you got to set it up by just having these burning feelings that are totally.
well, see, Sam, that's where you unlock the secret of this manga. Is all the characters are very self-absorbed to the point bordering on narcissism. Like they talk about how much they care about other people, but then when you really dig down on it, it's how that relates to themselves.
To an extent, I can understand that. They're like freshmen in college for the most part, so it's like still like immature,
Yeah.
but it creates such a tangled web of people talking past each other.
Oh, but
Like, Sunao was real happy because it's like, I don't need to worry about Lemon. I'm going on a movie date with Kogohara next weekend. That'll be awesome. I can focus on my happy ending with her. Unfortunately.
getting in the elevator, going up to a drinking party.
And who should happen to rush into the elevator after him but a very familiar character? It's Lemon.
You say familiar, but holy shit, did Lemon have a glow up? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like, she looked cute before, now she's like the,
Knockout.
She is a woman.
yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah.
she went from middle school child to a woman is also a lot of points in her favor.
Yes.
That does usually help.
While Sunao is desperately trying to beat down the rage
He
response.
doesn't want to be here.
Which is very,
He just doesn't want to be
very
here.
fair reaction. Like,
Mm-hmm. She is completely like unaware of his emotional responses. So it's like, oh my god, it's been forever. How are you? Hey, you really grew up. Damn.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of similarities between Lemon and the protagonist of our previous reading, where they both have this really bad habit of just barreling forward without thinking about the consequences of their actions. They're not
Yeah.
particularly aware of their like surroundings and things moving forward, and it causes them to make a lot of frankly stupid and self-sabotaging decisions.
Mhm.
I think it's sort of funny because last time when we had a character like that, because someone was sort of like vaguely guiding them mostly for shits and giggles, it ended up like heavily favoring that protagonist, whereas Lemon doesn't have that luxury. She just makes everything worse.
Lemon is like not malicious, but kind of the villain. It's weird. Like,
Yeah.
She doesn't consider other people's responses to things really until coincidentally she's put in a position where you kind of have to because
Yeah, when it's a matter of like she doesn't think about the consequences until they come due, and honestly, from a certain point of view, I can see Lemon as like a kind of villain, but also like it's also going to be her character arc of learning to think things through. And
Right now, she's just kind of bumbling.
Yeah, we even see this a little bit later, and it is like the back half of our reading, but like the idea of her being a pushover because people are like, "Hey, can you do this?" and she doesn't think about whether or not it's a good idea. She just says yes, and going back to the like the very first page of our reading, like she spells it out later, and like when this moment comes, it's like, yeah, that kind of did seem weird. She's like, she said she just did that because she didn't want to like they were going to different high schools and she didn't want to do a long distance relationship, so she just ripped his heart out, not thinking about
Yeah,
the consequences of those
explain,
actions.
You could have just explained that. I can't do long distance, sorry bro. I still really like you, but yeah.
Well, yes, and she's still a bad person for that. Like,
yeah,
but it wouldn't have been so traumatic as this girl that you really cared about. You don't even three different dudes.
That's the double down on it. This interaction she's having with our MC, the first time seeing him, not even acknowledging that the thing she said could have come off as fucked up. Mm-hmm. It's literally just like, oh yeah, I moved on completely. Also, you're kind of hot.
Damn, if I knew I would run into you, I would have done more work on my makeup.
Oh, damn. Hey, well, glad to see you again. I'm getting off on this floor, and I'm not going to tell you this, but I am going to fantasize about you for the rest of the day, because, hey, I guess, I don't...
Please, yes.
I mean, yes, that is her strong desire.
There is a bit of internal monologue with her later where she seems to desperately be hoping that he had forgotten about that and deluded herself into thinking that his...
so dramatic!
She seems to have deluded herself into thinking his non-response in the elevator is indicative of that until things come up later.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this guy thinks that you're not only the pariah who ripped his heart out, but you're a huge O-bag. So why would I work on with that?
I was about to say, so from main character's point of view, he is still a little shaken up about that, but has mostly put it behind him. And then it is suddenly brought to the forefront after he's like, I'm kind of weird about cheating because of a thing in my past. Oh, going to a thing for the club president because his girlfriend cheated on him and broke up with him. Know what that's like, but don't want to talk about this because, again, trying to move past this. Oh, nope, there's the person who did it who's pretending like everything's normal. And now I get to listen to him complain about getting cheated on for an entire, like, drinking session. This is hell. Yay. I want to go home.
This is hell. I am in hell. And it doesn't help that Kogahara, she seems to just be playing along with the president, who is currently extremely emotionally distraught and intoxicated.
It has a lot more to do with like the drinking and the social aspect, but
Natsumi, stay away from people who are unfaithful. Oh, yeah, could never be with somebody with baggage like that. Haha. And poor Sunao is completely shattered.
Which, to be fair,
I've got baggage.
Very fair statements. Like, sounds like you're going through a lot of drama. I don't think I want to deal with that. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, I have a lot of drama. Damn it. No. Better deal with that.
It's fine. I see a shooting star. I am going to treat this as as my like sign from heaven to move on. I'm gonna forget all about Lemon and focus on my future. And Kogahara, so long. He screams in the middle of the street.
And then realizes through the entire monologue he forgot to actually make a wish. But luckily, someone was making a wish.
Where else that was to laugh?
Primary character flaw is it's sort of a interesting parallel to Lemon's issue where he is so in his head. He is one of those many characters where like so many words on page are dedicated to his perspective, but it's easy to forget how little he actually says out loud.
Oh yeah. Like
except when he's with his one friend, he's very quiet. Like he doesn't talk very much. But like a lot of his internal monologue sort of dovetails into catastrophizing, which I don't know, I find that relatable. I do that. I am aware when I do it, and I stop myself, which Sunao is not quite there yet.
No,
and
he isn't.
Most of the comedy and drama is emergent from that fact. So
poor guy. He's He's going through quite a lot.
This is a decent setup for a romance series or even or a rom-com or something along those lines. It's like, oh, he wants to move on, but he happened to bump into his ex and it dredged up his past. This is a reasonable premise. That's all there is to the premise, right? That's the big gimmick here, right?
Unfortunately, as he's literally thinking to himself, I never have to see Lemon's face again. We cut to him waking up the next morning, except that's Sunao's internal monologue, but that's not his body. He has been Freaky Friday'd into Lemon.
And when we were reading the premise, we were reading that perfectly normal synopsis, which is the first half of chapter 1, and then as bad as reading it out loud in the call, and then they get body swapped?
It was literally at the very end of the synopsis. It was just like it was just thrown in at the end there, and we were like, well, I guess we're reading this.
There's a ring at the doorbell, goes to check the camera, sees his own body waving at the camera. What the hell? And yeah, Lemon is in his body, he's in Lemon's, and
oh my.
What do?
Yeah, their reactions to this are also very indicative of their characters, because Sunao is panicking and just like blue screening hard, whereas Lemon is like, well, I guess we just have to move forward with this new information.
What do you mean?
Lemon is very gung-ho for this situation.
I'm a little disappointed on just the whole, like, if you watch Freaky Friday, there's a whole, like, huge reaction montage. There was a lacking of this, and I'm somewhat disappointed by that. They're just kind of like, huh, this is interesting, versus this sucks.
This
30 minutes later, so what are we doing? It's like, what?
This did the very isekai thing of like, yeah, this trope that happens. I guess it just happens to some people. Well, how are we dealing with it? Like,
yeah, they mostly have like the actual content be, you know, people like the characters reacting to the premise rather than like interrogating like the initial shock of it.
They spend like 2 panels interacting like, how could this even happen? This doesn't make any sense. Oh shit, are you going to be able to cover my classes for today? I can't miss them. What?
Can you submit this report for second period? Wait, what school do you go to again? Oh, you know, only the most prestigious and high-ranking university in the city. You're smart, right? No. I'm an art major.
Also, it doesn't matter how smart I am. I don't be only going to half... Oh, they don't know that yet.
They don't know that yet.
It gets more convoluted.
Yeah, it sure does.
Because it's not even like a half thing, right? It's like the phase of the moon or something.
No.
It's every other day.
Yeah.
It's not really complicated.
That's what we learn later. Every other day, they swap places. But Sunao is just like, it's okay. Taito University is a big campus. There's no way that I'm going to run into a bunch of people, right? And then everyone's like, hey, Lemon, how's it going?
Lemon is the main character of this entire university. Like...
Oh my god, everybody's friendly with me. All the professors know me. I'm getting checked out by all the guys. What the hell? Oh, right. I guess I'm in this extremely attractive female body right now. This is so uncomfortable. How do women live like this?
But yeah, the sort of fun thing is Sunao like experiencing a side of Lemon that he didn't really know about. And it's like, it's not clear if this is a big change for her or if this had always been true, but like, she just talks to everybody. She's just friendly with everybody. Again, she doesn't really think about, you know, anything long term. If someone wants to strike up a conversation with her, she's totally fine with it. So she kind of knows everybody. Makes it hard for her Sunao to dodge, you know, dodge people that she's had previous conversations with.
And as he goes to meet up with Lemon in his body at his university, he's she and him.
Pronouns are weird in this series.
Pronouns are weird in this series. Lemon in Sunao's body is getting surrounded by the martial arts club, who are notorious for their high pressure recruitment tactics.
Yeah, this scene is weird.
Hey, bro, come on, bro, join our club, bro. And Lemon's like, I have an entire lifetime of a different gender experience that is making this extremely difficult for me right now.
Meanwhile, from my point of view, these guys are just being, like, way too friendly, but, like...
But, like, in a way that you could probably deal with.
I'd be
But
like,
Lemon's
how's it
just
going,
like,
man?
this is so alien to me.
No, you just gotta be like, yo, bro, nice muscles. How's it going? Nah, I don't want to do that shit. Leave me alone. Later. Like...
Mm-hmm.
The setup for this scene is kind of clunky and blunt because this is the first that we see of the way that like Lemon is self-sabotaging. Like this is setting that up. It also is a bit to show like the connection and how well they know each other because Sunao notices Lemon doing a nervous tick that she does in his body. The actual like impetus for this is weird.
Like, these people are really pushy when they try and get people to join a club, and they're pushy because they ask a few times. And also, there's no indication she said that she doesn't want to join the club. She's just, like, keeping a conversation going along, but, like, I don't want to do that. It's just like...
I especially don't want to sign Sunao up for that,
which
if we ever swap back.
Which is weird, because she seems to have no problem signing up Sunao for things in the future, so...
Well, that's admittedly after they know the gimmick.
After she realizes she doesn't have to deal with it, suddenly it's someone else's problem.
I can dodge consequences. Sign me up.
Oh, there we go.
Literally.
I can Hannah Montana this shit. Nice.
Wait a minute. If I'm going to be stuck in Lemon's body from now on, how many guys are going to be clamoring for me? Lemon, how many boyfriends do you have? None? Why do you ask? You were banging 3 dudes on the side of me in, like, middle school. Why wouldn't I assume you're drowning in deck right now? Anyway, bye! By the way, I'm rooming with a friend. Her name's Kokahara. Later! Her name's what?
This gets revealed by her bumping into them as the 2-part.
Yeah, because she's about to tell her, but then goes, nah, I'll text you the details later. And... I can only assume these people don't text outside of when the story tells us they text. Because so many things could be solved.
Yeah.
But that's a rom-com for you, is no one communicates.
So hot.
Lack of communication. Yeah, withhold that communication. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you want to fuck your roommate. Nope. Well, maybe. It's unclear.
It was very unclear. That new plot point? Maybe? Yes.
Listen, if they ever deal Kokahara in and this becomes the weirdest quadruple pairing of all time.
I'm just saying...
That would be interesting.
There's enough information here. I could vibe that. I could see that being a thing.
And then chapter 2 basically ends with Lemon in Sunao's body going like, why'd I have to make up that story about cheating on him? And like, sure, I guess.
I to an extent,
I don't think I could have made that up.
To an extent, I can understand the like childish response of just like, oh, I really need to get myself out of this situation. What's the one thing I can say that can blow this up as thoroughly as possible?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
That my mom works for the CIA and we have to move.
That would have been just as insane. It's less personal, but that would have been equally traumatizing. Yeah, no, like she didn't want to have an honest conversation about her feelings, so she went for the nukes because she doesn't have a break. She doesn't have any breaks.
Why couldn't she have just done a thing if she's studying abroad? So yeah, bye.
Because that requires her to stop for 2 seconds and think about the consequences of her actions.
She still lives in the
That's
same
a whole
area.
character arc.
But I'm saying, it was still sucked. It would have still hurt regardless. But
Jay, the thing that you have to recognize is you are more mature than Lemon is. The whole reason the story is happening is because these characters
even
make bad decisions.
Me would not have said that. I'd be like,
because
what the
you're
hell?
more mature than Lemon is. I don't know what to tell you.
I guess my takeaway is the story kind of goes into a weird place where they're like, here is the big like. Chapter 1, here is the big drama bomb of like, my girlfriend cheated on me with 3 guys. Chapter 2, that was a lie. It's like, okay, I
Mhm.
get it. You need like a big hook. But then, like, spoiler alert, moving forward, no one really brings it up again. And it was like the defining thing of their relationship in these first two chapters.
It is kind of strange that it gets.
No,
Like,
that actually makes it. It makes sense in the context of what we read. Because here's the thing: we see the stuff that we see from Lemon's perspective. Of course, she's not bringing it up because she's not really internalized how shitty what she did is yet. Her character arc is going to be coming to those consequences. For Sunao, he isn't even thinking about her in that context, so he's not bringing it up because he's not seeing her as a romantic partner. You know, like there's elements of it creeping in that like she's attractive, they had this connection, so like there's parts of him that like sort of like, you know, lean towards her in that way, but he always pulls away because, you know, the acknowledgement of that is the fact that he's not seriously considering her even in, you know, weird circumstances that try to force them together. It's not explicitly acknowledging it out loud, but it's the motivation behind his choices.
Because again, nobody communicates in this fucking manga. If Lemon just said, "Yeah, it was, I lied about that. It was fucked up. I'm sorry," that would
Dude, I feel like there's a meme for this. They need to discover
Yeah.
memes.
that would solve like 40 chapters worth of content.
We have
Well, I mean, that is the thing, though, is that is going to slow burn eventually come out, and then that will be the new drama, because then that barrier is torn down. But, like, it's a rom-com. We need to fill page space, so let's have shenanigans in the meantime.
And I do love the shenanigans we get at the start of chapter 2 with Sunao in Lemon's body walking home with Kogahara, who's just like, so yeah, anyway, I'm gonna make dinner tonight, and I've got this recipe I've got planned out. Oh, that sounds great, Kogahara. Why'd you call me that? You always call me by that cute nickname. Why aren't you calling me Natsumin? Natsumin, right? That's the thing that I always call you. Are you feeling all right, Lemon? You're looking kind of shaky. Yep, I'm doing great. Totally not having a really like intimate conversation with a person I have a crush on in a context where she doesn't know what I'm feeling and how.
I will say, to be fair, one of the few cases of it does kind of make sense to withhold information is that this situation.
How would this be explained?
Yeah,
No.
how can you explain this situation?
Yeah, this makes sense.
I've watched enough supernatural rom-coms. I'd buy it.
So the problem is the only person who can explain this to Kogahara is Lemon, because Sunao can't be expected to do this because he, in relative sense, barely knows her and was looking to pursue a romantic relationship with her, and it's now getting started with, here's a bunch of like fucking garbage body swap drama that I've swapped places with your best friend roommate. Also, I used to date her in like middle school, and like there's a whole bunch of unresolved sexual tension on her end, but not mine. But that's your best friend, and maybe you're just going to be a sensible person who's like, oh, I'm not going to date my best friend's ex. That's not something I want to deal with. Which, very fair reaction. So currently everyone's lying for their own benefit, because everyone in this is kind of selfish.
Yeah, listen, I get it. But it would be easiest in the long term to tear the bandage off. But tearing the bandage off hurts.
No, I'm on your side. Don't tear this bandage off. There is no good coming from brand new relationship being like, and then magic happened. Like, I don't know.
By the way, I'm actually your kohai from college in your best friend / roommate's body. I don't know how this happened, and I don't know if this will end.
Also, conveniently, I never have to pee.
That is what I mean. That is what I mean. They got over it so quick. Meanwhile, we've all had those conversations. What if you body swapped into like a female body?
Neither Lemon nor Sunao had to pee at all that day.
Or conceivably
But,
ever, because they make such a big deal over the fact
They
that...
reference showering.
yeah.
They reference showering. And that apparently is just okay. Okay.
Yeah. No, because that's what this whole thing is. It's a less crass version of the same thing, so that they can have that bit.
It's Lemon calling Sunao, like, you are not going to shower in my body. Well, Kogahara is like basically forcing me to. Oh crap! I did ask her to like
Force me to take a shower.
Keep me accountable for showering.
Yeah, because Lemon doesn't take care of herself because she doesn't think about consequences. Like this is a perfectly natural sequence of events for these characters.
You're defending a lot here because you got to remember Kogahara was also told, no matter what I say, and even if it's against my wishes, you are going to force me to take a shower.
Yeah, it is a perfectly, because again, even that is also not really thinking about the consequences. Like, this is a perfectly natural like situation for Lemon to have put Sunao in, like, because it's like
I need to take better care of myself. I can't hold myself accountable. Hey, bestie, can you help hold me accountable? Sure thing, bestie. It makes sense broken down like that. It just also creates.
But this is a bit, is what this is, because this is the what if you had to go to the bathroom in somebody else's body situation, but a little bit less crass. And like, you know, because like, say what you will about like, because rom-coms kind of have to be a little bit convoluted because otherwise the plot doesn't happen. But like, this particular incident is a very like natural like, you know, expression of the characters and their personalities.
Okay, fine. Natsumi's not going to let you get away with not showering. You're going to do it with your eyes closed, and you are going to get this done in 5 minutes. By the way, here's my whole skincare routine. You expect me to do that in 5 minutes blind?
Yes. I believe in you.
That was a good joke.
Yeah, that's a good bit of fun. Thankfully, it is it's like, how are we going to continue on like this for the rest of our lives? Wake up the next morning in their original bodies. Oh, thank you.
Yay, problem solved.
Surely.
We're going to meet up like we already planned so that we can try to put this behind us and nothing else is going to happen.
We're going to debrief. Everything's so cool now. The manga ends here. Beep, beep, beep. Third day of the story. What do you mean we swap back again?
Yeah, it's pretty clear that whenever they go to sleep, they like if they sleep simultaneously, they swap bodies is what's going on.
This poor coffee shop where they're the only patrons.
I thought that too.
Yes.
Because this is like 3 days in a row they're meeting at the same booth.
They're meeting at the same booth and whisper screaming weird shit at each other. Or just screaming in Sunao.
I'm just wondering, when is this happening during the day that they're at a coffee shop that is open but also completely empty? And I'm like, can't be early in the morning because that's like when they do their main business. So I'm just... Oh, crazy.
But then they like run to class afterwards.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's meet up. It's fine. Kogahara is going to a friend's place, so my apartment is going to be empty. Oh,
your apartment,
so
my apartment, same. Weird.
The point being, after school today, we are going to go to Lemon's apartment, and we are going to suss out how enough of each other's routines that we will be able to pull this off every other day without arousing suspicion. Okay? Okay. Cool. We're in the apartment, and oh crap, the door is opening. What do you mean Natsumin is back? Quick, hide.
That immediately fails.
Hey, you realize you left your shoes at the front door, so she's gonna know there's a guy here.
Huh, that's weird. These aren't Lemon's shoes, but those are. There's somebody here. Hey, Lemon, do you have a guest over? Lemon? Hey! Huh.
Yes.
Hi.
Walk of shame out of the room they'd been hiding in, which definitely doesn't look suspicious at all. Kogahara doesn't seem to think anything of it, though.
I think
Kogahara's
too innocent. I think
whatever.
So, counterpoint. I think Kogahara immediately clocks what she thinks is going on here, but is just super chill about it because she's not involved at that level yet. She's just like,
Hmm.
oh,
True.
maybe they are dating. Because later she has a whole thing of like, oh, are you two dating? That would explain a lot. Like why you were in her room together when you thought you had the house to yourself. Like, Kogahara is just a sensible person in this land of crazy people.
Yes. She has done nothing wrong.
She does not deserve to be in this manga.
No.
She really does.
She makes a rational assessment. Yeah.
Oh, you guys are childhood friends? That is so cute. Anyway, I just forgot my wallet. I'll get out of your hair. Bye. God, please don't make her think that anything is happening. I'm trying to get with her.
Well, no, he doesn't communicate that because that would be any amount of communication.
Yeah. It's also at this point that they actually look at the calendar and realize that the movie date is happening on a body swap day.
Well, yeah. Actually, at that point, Sunao does actually say what that is, because he refers to it as a date every time.
Does he refer to it as a date out loud to Lemon?
Maybe it's a translation thing where you can use a more neutral term than date.
Considering the date itinerary he tried to give her for the thing,
then maybe it's just Lemon being like dumb and narrow-minded because she seems to be under the impression that he is not romantically interested in her at all.
Given her personality and the way that she reacts to it, I feel like it's a copium thing. Like, you know, it's not a date, even though she knows, yes, it is.
And also from Lemon's perspective, it's her spending a day with her friend. Like, from her POV, this is a completely normal hangout.
Rationalize it away, yeah.
It's just weird because I happen to be in this other body. I don't need to think about how Akiyoshi is thinking about this. It's fine.
That would be considering consequences.
Oh my god.
So
Sunao desperately trying to avoid these consequences by saying, hey, Kogahara, can we reschedule that movie that we were going to? Oh, yeah, sure. I'm available the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. Oh, crap. It's every other day, isn't it?
I'm only available on prime numbered days that match up exactly with your weird cursor going through. This was when I started to suspect Kogahara was the one who cursed them.
That honestly,
it's some weird fetish she has.
That's the
Like,
only
whatever.
explanation that makes sense, really.
She was the only one not on panel during the shooting star. That's because she was in a basement somewhere conducting a ritual.
Well, no. The thing is, when Sunao is saying, oh, I didn't wish upon that star, it shows a low shot of Lemon from behind looking at the star, and we don't hear in her head.
Yeah.
I think there's a non-zero chance that she, like, wished to be closer to Sunao or something along those lines.
I don't think there's a non-zero chance either. I think it's pretty clear that's the manga's intent to convey, because it's like a full body panel of her, like, hands clasped together wishing on a star. Like, it's...
Yeah, it would have to be some kind of twist for that not to be what's going on.
Which also this manga would 100% do, and it would be bullshit, but...
Yeah.
Welcome to rom-coms. We haven't been canceled yet. Keep the story going.
Anyway, Lemon, since I guess the universe has just determined that you're going to be the one piloting my body during this get-together, it's a good thing we're going to see a sequel. You and I are going to watch the first movie in this series. You need to be perfectly ready to have a film enthusiast discussion about this, because that's the context I would have in this. Please, for the love of God, do not fall asleep. Pay attention. I promise to try. Now stop yapping.
This whole section with, like, the movie date is, in my opinion, the strongest point of our reading, because it really, like, hones in on the way in which the three main characters interact. And, like, because I mean, like, there's a level of like, you know, who is compatible, who isn't, sort of a thing. You know, and, like, obviously poor Kogahara, as we've established, did nothing wrong and doesn't deserve to be stuck in this situation that she doesn't even know she's in. But, like, you know, it's like, was there, you know, like, something more real between Lemon and Sunao? Like, obviously Lemon wants that to be true. And the way that, like, when they're watching the first movie that the date is going to be a sequel movie. It's interesting seeing the ways in which the two of them like react to the film, because Sunao like goes full film critic because that's like his thing, his perspective, whereas Lemon reacts to it in a more emotional sense, which actually calls back to another thing that we've read fairly recently. It's similar to the situation in You and I Are Polar Opposites, where their two perspectives actually complement each other. Like between the two of them, they have a fuller picture of the movie and why it's good.
Yes. Which is why it's really, really cute.
It is cute, and it's one of those ones where it's like, is there something there? Like, I kind of have to commend the way that they wrote the three mains, because in the aspect of will they, won't they, there isn't an obvious end point here, because like Lemon and Sunao like have a connection, they have real chemistry. They've also done some pretty shitty things to each other, mostly Lemon, but like there's that baggage aspect. And the big thing is, in our reading, we haven't seen a lot of Kokahara interacting with Sunao. Like that's sort of like the big question mark there, is if they can convincingly set those two up as having the same level of like, because they have a chemistry, but they haven't had had as many like quiet scenes together, like big quiet scenes. That's gonna be like the big thing on what like the pillar that the love story kind of has to stand on.
Yeah, before they introduce the fourth.
Well, we'll get to that. That was a choice. I don't even know if I hate it, but that certainly was a choice. But we're not there yet.
I've got words on him.
We will we'll get to Mr. Redditor.
So anyway, they're sitting down, they're watching their movie. Lemon is playing it cool, but then the second Sunao gets up, immediately is super flustered. It's like, I can't believe I'm in his room. Oh my god, this is amazing. I'm making so much progress in my back together with him plan. Yes! And I'm like, Lemon, why are you only your super genius in your backstory for your university and right here? Why is every other accent like brain turned off, head empty, just like, hey, how's it going?
Because her master plan is, I don't know, figure it out as I go. That's what her master plan is. She has academic smarts, but she does not think.
Yeah.
So anyway, she's basically making out with the pillow that smells like him when he comes back in with snacks and goes like, hey, what's going on here? Oh, I really like this pillow. Oh, I got it at IKEA.
For like $5.
Oh.
That's not the point. The point is it's yours and it smells like you.
The point is I came back to you basically just like tonguing my pillow. What the fuck is going on here?
Know what's going on.
Shut up, don't worry about it, don't think about it. We're gonna watch the movie now.
Ooh, I do love movies.
Distraction. Nice.
Oh, look, a distraction.
Oh, look, Lemon took her Adderall before this movie.
They do have two particularly cute moments where, like, when Sunao was starting to babble about the movie and why he likes it so much, she's like, oh, it's just like when we were kids and he would get really into it and it's so cute and then when they're watching the movie and she's completely locked in on it, it's like, oh yeah, that's right, she did used to be like that. She would just zero in on it once it caught her interest and she wanted to like the things that I like, and oh, that was really nice, wasn't it? Yeah, too bad she cheated on me so badly.
She cheated on me 3 times with 3 guys. Like,
how do we know it wasn't at the same time? We don't know.
She said 3.
No, it could have been at the same time.
Okay, I guess it could have been in a row. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
It could have been a row. It could have been simultaneous. We don't know.
It could have been like a
Also,
weird party
not...
where everyone was wearing owl masks.
Just saying. I'm just saying. She didn't think about the
The
consequences.
password is...
I'm just saying. How many nights did this man stay awake wondering how?
Probably a lot. It's really shitty what she did to him. The manga really doesn't play that up enough. Like,
yeah. Sunao is like, all right, cool. We've got the movie date locked in. Lemon's done her homework. I'm going to write up the perfect script for this to make sure everything goes exactly the way I planned.
And you don't even need to turn the page to the next chapter to know whatever it is going to be a goddamn disaster.
This is 20 extremely dense pages of diagrams. How do you expect me to naturally carry this so that she doesn't notice?
Well, there's also the fact that Lemon is like, listen, these are terrible dates. No girl would go for this. Speaking as one, I can say this with authority. And it's yeah, obviously.
But she doesn't know it's a date is the thing.
Well, given what happens in the aftermath of this, that's not necessarily true.
They must both
Because
really
we don't
want to see that movie.
Anyway, I'm going to subtly throw these these blueprints away.
That's one of those ones where it's like this is an example of where Lemon's impulsiveness is not necessarily a bad idea, because like anyone with two functioning brain cells to rub together is going to know that was the right call.
Yeah. It also helps that just Lemon has a greater like interpersonal knowledge with Natsumin. So she's just
They already vibe, so Lemon just does what they would do on a normal hangout, which like that, I mean, that's a perfectly fine way of going about going on a date with someone.
wow, it's like I've known you for so long, Sunao. Well, yeah, we've known each other. I mean, I also love Sunao in Lemon's body hiding in the bushes, spying on them.
And a bunch of bystanders just noticing them crouched in a bush looking like a weirdo.
So now, Lemon is going to go with my awesome suggestion of going to this really trendy restaurant I saw on Instagram, and
I want to go to the place that melts a cheese wheel and then puts it on pasta. That sounds great.
Yeah, there are
Yeah.
actually like quite a few around, actually.
they've got dried flowers hanging everywhere. They have this really fancy pasta. Girls love that stuff, right?
No. Sunao loves pasta. This boy loves his pasta. That's his whole thing.
By the way, they revealed that Lemon's specialty was make like pasta. Like she had a
She
specialty
makes a
pasta dish.
Neapolitan, that's right.
Yeah,
Yep.
I wonder
I'm
why
like-
she's so good at making pasta.
I'm just saying, guy, he had it on lock. She ruined everything.
Kogahara likes rice. You can't make pasta with rice.
We'll go to this nice restaurant that has a good rice dish. This place seems pretty cool. Oh yeah, that seems really nice. Do you have a reservation? Nah, but I can just call. Yeah, table for two? Cool. We'll be there in 20 minutes. All right, let's go. You took such control of the situation. I'm usually so indecisive. It's really nice to have somebody just kind of, be forward thinking like that. Oh yeah, I mean, that whenever we hang out, yes, it's sure nice to just be assertive.
I like that all the things you like about our friendship are traits you find like flustering in a man. That's a really weird way to look back on our relationship. Oh wait, are all friendships just you would fuck them if they were your gender of your preference? Oh no,
my
is that the
God.
thesis statement
Yeah.
of this manga? Because it might be.
It might be, considering what happens.
Yes,
Ugh.
you've cracked the code. How'd you know?
But I don't know how Sunao in Lemon's body manages to get a table on the other side of the divider so he can continue to spy on them in the restaurant.
Because
but he's
there's
sure-
no one in this restaurant is the thing. They got a reservation and they said we're 15 minutes away. So it's literally they're saying, yeah, just walk in, there's a table. Like
Yeah.
cuz they went to just like a casual Japanese place and got a rice dish. So it was just like, yeah, we got like standard fare, like just a place you could walk in, no line, no rush, and they like rice.
But after that, they go to the movie. Lemon manages to stay awake in Suno's body throughout the entire thing. Sunao is like, I'll be able to watch their every move as I'm sitting just 2 rows behind them, and immediately gets enraptured by the movie.
It's insane to me they don't notice her when they're leaving. Like, this is her
Yeah.
best friend sitting directly behind them in the movie theater, and she's just watching the credits as it goes by and doesn't notice them leave.
Well,
I can-
presumably they're talking to each other, and Sunao is focused on the screen.
Oh
Like
my.
he even points that out.
Oh my.
Yeah, and the
Wait.
rest of the scene really is sort of reinforcing the same idea with that was done with the like watching the initial movie. So it mostly it exists to end with a joke.
Yeah, it's like a full page of them describing a movie that doesn't exist, and I got to the point where I'm just kind of skimming over it. I'm like, yeah, I get it. You're talking about it like it's movie you like is what it needs to be for the plot reason. So it's like, cool.
Yeah, I appreciate. On the one hand, I appreciate committing to the bit of going all in on the description. On the other hand, let's move it along.
And then, man, is this the luckiest thing in the world that this next situation just works out? Because this could have gone really wrong.
Yeah, because as they are walking away through the mall, Lemon in Sunao's body gets distracted by a woman's clothing store. Like, damn, that outfit is cute.
Yo, girl, you would look fresh to death in that outfit. Let's put that on you right now. And I'm like, but buddy, no, that's not. Oh no, that's a lot. That is a very different situation.
But it works. Kogahara just buys this.
So it's like,
See?
wow.
That's forward thinking, because then you can steal it from her closet later. Yes.
Lemon would. Lemon 100% would.
It's like, haha, I'm using Sunaro's money to buy clothes that I will use later. Best of both worlds.
Let's go. And Kogahara is in the changing room trying on the outfits, just like, oh wow, he really likes me, huh? This is kind of wow.
Wow, he knows all about fashion. Damn, that's great. Oh, and he wants me to wear things that he thinks would look good on me? Damn. Oh my.
That's Lemon you're talking about.
I'm having romantic feelings about this person for the first time. I'd considered them a friend previously, but damn. Now that I know I could have sex with them. Well, hold on, wait.
And then poor Suno and Lemon's body is just like, sales associate, go away. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a dude.
Please stop talking to me. I don't care. I'm not going to buy anything.
I'm literally just here to spy.
I'm just here to spy. Leave me alone.
Ma'am, honestly, if Suno had just been like, I'm just watching, that's my friend on a date. I'm just like keeping distance from afar to see if the guy's a creep. He's not smart enough
Dude,
for that.
totally. That's
Yeah.
an in. That's an in.
That would have solved the problem right there. Like,
Unfortunately, that would not be funny, so.
meanwhile, the store attendant's just like, well, he just complimented our fall line and said this would really go, like, matches her color energy. I think he might be gay.
He might just be gay.
I think your friend's going to be disappointed.
That is the first major incident of our reading. I think this is a good spot for a quick break before we get into the next thing.
Agreed.
So we'll be right back after this.
Wait, there are 5 places I can eat pasta out of a Parmesan wheel? Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very popular.
Out of her Parmesan wheel.
Ooh. Oh. I don't think an aged cheese is what you want that smelling like. Okay. Hey, Sport. How's it going? I'm sure you've been noticed that we've been a little distant lately. We others wanted me to come in here and talk to you so that you're certain that it's not your fault. They were really clear that they wanted me to come in here and make you think that it wasn't your fault. And frankly, if you weren't around, maybe me and the other co-hosts could still be happy together. But
Matt, that's not quite the vibe we were going for, because this is an important change.
The point being, the show is going to be going to a different broadcast schedule. Every other Thursday, we will be uploading.
Also, you do get 2 Christmases.
welcome back to the show, folks. Where last we left our rom-com
Morons.
Yeah. I was gonna say victims, but really,
No, this is of their
Only-
own doing, 100%.
Well, only one of them can arguably be called victim.
Kokahara does not deserve to be here.
I just like that we get the clip of them in the film club and they're going to be watching Hereditary in this meeting, and I'm like, oh my.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, if you can get through Hereditary as a in a group setting, you guys are bonded, trauma bonded for life. By the way, if you haven't already seen Hereditary and you don't know what I'm talking about, watch it. It's a good movie. But you will be trauma bonded.
Jay, I'm going to just tell you, the people who know our podcast but don't know Hereditary are not going to watch Hereditary.
And Kokahara is as blushing maiden flustered as one can possibly get.
Refuses to talk with our main character at all, basically.
I'm just saying, if you've watched Hereditary together, you can talk about anything together. That's what I mean.
Oh, I love how this background detail is.
They haven't watched Hereditary yet, by the way. She gets up and leaves before the club meeting. I'm not actually...
Lame.
The timeline doesn't make a lot of sense here.
Lame.
Because she's complete blushing maiden flustered. She's red-faced. She can't make eye contact. She's trying as hard as possible to talk to other people.
He has to sit by himself during the movie, just arms crossed, worrying like, does she hate me? Like, what's going on here? This is a weird reaction.
It's very easy from the outside looking in to see what's actually happening. I mean, to be fair, we do have an audience eyes view, and we don't have we don't have the same kind of personal stake in it that Sunao does.
Sunao also didn't get a full view of what happened on the date.
Right.
Yeah.
So thankfully the manga went man, none of these characters talk to each other. How am I gonna get across the story? I know. I'll introduce a man who only gets straight to the point.
It is here where we get the first true introduction to Sunao's best bro, Suzuka.
You say that, but he is not introduced to Sunao's best friend. That seems to be a title that is applied to him later.
I mean, they talk like close friends.
They're friends in a club. It's kind of the vibe I got. This first meeting is literally, I don't know who else to go to for relationship advice, and he's just like, I mean, sure, why not?
I can keep a secret, and I'm not interpersonally connected to anybody that you are romantically entangled with yet.
We're gonna keep seeing the specter of that yet. But speaking of Suzuka, as we see him up to this point, one of the things I really like about him is that, again, we're gonna set the yet aside, everybody. One of the things I really like about him is he's the voice of reason. He's the sensible one. He's the one who is paying attention to cues and such. I like the fact that he's just completely off base with what
his
he tells
read.
Sunao, and it's it makes sense because he doesn't have full context. So given what he's told, it makes sense that he'd come to the conclusion that he does, that
all parties involved are idiots.
that the date was screwed up and that the chance is ruined. But
he doesn't have full context, and he's also he's in that interesting situation where he is extremely jaded and kind of incel-y, but he knows it. He's self-aware. He's aware that it's a character flaw, but he's not working on improving it again yet.
I don't think this interaction he's even that incel-y. He's kind of just you're going through some rom-com bullshit. Here's why rom-coms don't one-to-one with real life
happen IRL.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's in a rom-com and doesn't know it, is his character flaw. They they go in a
he's
different
genre savvy.
They go in a different direction with him later on, because obviously you can't have a character who just knows everything is bullshit. But
yeah, exactly. Matt's right. He's not very incel-y here. He is, he's telling it like it is. He's also very just like, yeah, no, dude, you screwed up. Just take the L and move on. It's the mature thing to do.
Yeah. I think the start of what you mentioned describing him, like he's jaded, but not like obnoxious about it, and he's like content with where he is right now. So he works as a good voice of reason.
Yeah.
I kind of like the fact that he's wrong, because even though he is the one who could give good, sage, correct advice, and generally speaking, he is like had he been right, then he would have been giving good advice, but because he's, he doesn't have the full picture, it ends up resulting in shenanigans.
Yep.
So he isn't really directly responsible, because this is actually where we start getting Kukagura's perspective on this. We're more focused on her for the next bit.
Conveniently, through her talking through her emotions with her best friend and roommate Lemon, who is definitely not the boy she's crushing super hard on in Lemon's body.
I love this little interaction where he's just like, so hey, I'm gonna abuse my power here, but also I'm not getting an answer in real life. Did everything going all right lately? Just like, well, I have been thinking about something lately. Are you and Sunao dating? What?
Why? No, we're not at all. Why would you ever think such a thing was happening?
And she's like,
are you okay? You're kind of choking on your coffee.
For absolutely no reason. That's good to hear. Meanwhile, what has to be going on in Koga, it's like internal monologue. It's just like, oh, thank God I just didn't go on a date with my best friend's boyfriend. That would have been weird. All of these feelings I'm having bubbling up about my best friend's boyfriend would have been awful. Huge sigh of relief here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the worst for her, because she's caught in the middle. She's just making logical sense here, and everyone else is crazy.
I wouldn't want to be some kind of 3-timing whore.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
It would be bad enough if I was going on a date with my best friend's boyfriend. It would be even worse if I had caught mad feelings for him.
Unfortunately, I love the wrong conclusion Sunao comes to.
Wait a minute. If Suzuka is right, and she doesn't like me because I flubbed the date so hard, then that means the only reason she would be asking Lemon if Lemon and I are dating is if she likes Lemon. and even the narrator's like, good job, idiot Holmes.
This man has such low self-confidence, but is still so self-absorbed that he thinks lesbians can only happen in direct relation to him. Like...
God, I keep turning women into lesbians. What is this?
God damn it. Everything is purposely out to get... It's like... Every character in this only gives a shit about themselves. It's insane.
No, now that I know the truth, I can get out of her way and make sure that nothing happens that would cause Kogahara any problems in pursuing Lemon.
The thing here that I feel Matt might be missing is that these people are spiraling and catastrophizing and coming to stupid conclusions because they're too close to it. Like, we can see how stupid the logic train is, but like, it's not a matter. Like, his perspective is, oh, Kogahara liked Lemon all along, not that he made Kogahara gay. So
I don't think that's what I was saying happened at all.
I thought that's what you said, but yeah, because his immediate reaction is, I will get out of their way, and I'm going to have to, like, great, now I have 2 women to get over. Also, I'm not 100% sure how he also comes to the conclusion that Lemon likes Kogahara back, but it does result in one of the dumbest and funniest lines I've heard in a long time. I'm a pest in a beautiful field of sapphic lilies. Sparkle tears.
Beautiful. I need that framed. Yes.
It's so good.
Like weeping as he
Not
says
just
it.
weeping, but sparkle tears.
Suzuka's like, dude, that's
That's
No.
dumb. What is wrong with you?
Meanwhile, Suzuka like interacts with Lemon in Suno's body, just going like, "Hey, did you get over like whatever Kokohara's going on with that? Like that whole thing? Like, hey, plenty of fish in the sea, bud." And she's just like, "Wait, did they get into some kind of fight? Are my best friends not getting along? Wow, he better just apologize and give her whatever she wants right away."
That's what I'd want.
This cannot be allowed to stand. How dare my best friends fight?
Gets on the phone, just like, "Suno, I don't know what you did to make her upset, but you need to just go there and give her whatever she wants from you. And
That's
then
what I would want.
it would solve all the problems." Hangs up,
What could
just like
possibly go wrong?
Lemon in Suno's body. Like, man, Suno is such a great guy. That's why I'm madly in love with him. I'm glad he gets along with my best friend.
And they totally don't have feelings for each other.
Because no one is
Yep.
aware that anyone else has feelings for anyone else.
You know what would solve this? Good old fashioned spin.
Orgy? Wait, what
Well,
did
it's close,
Seth
close.
say?
Close.
I said threesome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, close. I was gonna say spin the bottle.
Oh, that sets up the fate. Or whoever has a magnet.
Yeah, I think the kind of funny thing is a lot of this speaks to like stuff that we haven't seen of Lemon in particular yet, because it kind of makes sense that Suno would be so self-conscious given his dating history that, you know, like he gets in the mindset of no, like none of the people involved could possibly like me after what happened.
Mhm.
But like Lemon social butterfly that she is, I feel like there's more to like her side of this, because much as we've spent a decent amount of time in her head in the in our reading section, there is a lot about her past that we don't know yet, that either, you know, has simply not been revealed to the audience, or in particular stuff that Suno clearly doesn't know. Because that's actually something that I hadn't really it's something that I hadn't really like focused in on or thought about, the fact that a lot of the non-communication, a lot of the stupid decisions that they're made mostly stems from the fact that they don't think that anyone likes anyone else. They think that their feelings are unreciprocated.
Yeah,
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
that's ultimately the reason why communication would solve this problem. Because if they talked now, it would be messy because it's a love triangle. But like
It's a love
it would
triangle
solve
with body swapping.
even setting that
But yeah.
aside, but like it would solve a lot of problems. It would you know, move things forward. But like there's also the fact that like they don't think that, you know, the object of their affection cares about them. You know, I guess the fact that for Lemon it's also kind of true kind of fits with the fact that she's the one who's committed the most grievous sins so far.
I was about to say, Lemon seems least aware that she seems to think like there's a very good chance they can get back together. She's kind of got the opposite problem. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Which is fitting for her character.
Indeed.
so anyway, they let this play out for literally half a chapter before Suzaku just has to go like, they're not in love with each other. You're an idiot. This entire thing you built up in your head was a stupid thing to think. I just want you to know you're dumb.
But
Oh.
there's plenty of Yuri written about it. So
Okay, fair. You're probably right. By the way, can we only have conversations like this every other day? Why?
why are you scheduling your trauma dumping? So weird.
We then find that Suno added Lemon on Instagram, which
Uh-oh.
is interesting because that must have happened post body swap.
Yeah. Either that or Lemon made him add it herself so they were following each other so they could coordinate moves.
She would do that.
So that's the thing.
Yeah.
She would
word.
do that.
Somehow they have each other, like, they swap phones.
Yeah, so it's
'Cause
reasonable
they always have their phone.
That's kind of weird because just based on Friends, like they'd have to have the exact same like phone and phone case. Like Friends, like why? That's not your phone. Like what?
I mean,
I pick on that.
the only alternative is that the manga decided it'd be easier if they just said what the inner personality was listed as the caller ID. Or the manga could
That
just
might
made
have
a
just
mistake.
been an error on the mangaka's part, yeah.
I think, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of logistics that they just ignore that really do need to be discussed.
It's probably them going to that coffee shop every morning and swapping phones, but still.
You'd think that. But there is a
You'd
bit of a
think that.
time where it seems like they didn't talk to each other at all.
This chapter, the sort of big thing about this is we get Kogahara's perspective on this, and we see that whilst she might be the most innocent among them, she's not immune to the same pitfalls and lack of communicating. I do like that this sort of frames that like the way that she talks about Sunao was that like the like movie date was like kind of a friendly date but see where it goes kind of thing, and now that like she's actually caught proper feelings is like she is also in the like she sees some like random Reddit thread of I avoided the guy I like and now he hates me crying face. So
Which should be fair.
She
Good thing she did that, because what she was doing is definitely not a good way to win. Like
it's not a good way to win in the competition she doesn't know she's in.
Yeah.
But yeah, she tries to reset their interactions, which is all that Sunao needs to realize he's been being an idiot because he's been being an idiot. Meanwhile, Suzuka's just there like, yep, I told you.
I've been telling you this for like all week, dude.
Yeah, they have strong best friend vibes here. I'm sorry. They really do.
Yeah.
They really do feel close in this chapter.
I was worried for nothing. Yeah, next time you're getting like that, go cry to somebody else, because I am not getting those hours of my life back.
Have fun with your brain rot.
we get the Kogahara asking for love advice, or about to ask for love advice, but then because no one can speak full sentences, everyone... Actually, that's just how Japanese works, actually. There's a lot of assumptions there. So it's them just saying half sentences at each other and assuming completely different contexts, and by the end of it just going like,
yeah.
I think I'm going to sabotage this sapphic romance so that I have at least a chance.
Do it, girl.
I'm not willing to talk about if I'm in a relationship or not. Maybe later. So it's like, I didn't lie, but also I left the door open. And then we cut to her leaving, and then Kogahara just going like, damn. If she'd said she was in a relationship, then I could have asked her for advice on my relationship with Sunao. And she knows him so well, she'd give me great advice, because I don't think anyone has told me they used to date. Which is really going to be bad news.
She does not know that at all.
That's a good thing to find out about a childhood friendship that they keep making more and more close.
Yeah.
Which, that's not the author. That's them lying.
Lies of omission are still lies.
Well, they're also like explicitly saying, oh yeah, we just know everything about each other because we're close childhood friends. I'm like, well, not in this situation.
Hey, you're leaving out an important detail here.
That you've seen each other's sexual organs.
Yeah. That's
In
what
the
I'm like.
bath.
Yes.
I don't know where I was going with this.
I'm just saying, I didn't want to assume, but it's kind of leading me there.
The important thing is, while Sunao is just like, wow, I guess I have a chance to continue my courtship with Kogahara yet. This is great. Surely nothing else can possibly go awry. And why is my phone buzzing so much? Hold on. Getting a bunch of messages from Lemon. Hey, by the way, I joined a beauty pageant. Sorry.
Hey, sorry, you know how you haven't really interacted with my storyline for presumably a week of time? That's because I've been doing shit that's gonna cause you problems in the background. Welcome to the B plot. Which, like,
yeah,
it's almost like she's doing this on purpose. Like, it's, but she's not.
yeah. Honestly, I could see it being a subconscious thing given the way that she thinks. Because honestly, other than the beat by beat shenanigans, what this ultimately is like from a character perspective is this is an example of Lemon. Like, this is the big thing is like when she explains why and how she got stuck with the beauty pageant. Like, one of the things that she says is she wants to, like, she doesn't like the fact that she's a doormat, and she doesn't really understand at this point the reason why she agrees to things isn't because she's just acquiescing to people, it's because she's impulsive. Someone asks for help and she says yes without thinking about it. So, like, you know, she goes through all these mental gymnastics, and all it really takes is a little bit of begging, and she ends up joining the beauty pageant. And then, because it's Lemon, she's like, huh, this actually sort of, like she doesn't even, like, mentally verbalize this, but, like, there's a level of, she understands that this tangentially benefits her in some ways, so she stops fighting it and just lets it happen, even though her rational brain knows this is a really shitty and obnoxious thing to do.
Because we have the start of chapter 7 is her flashback of her time in middle and high school of, you know, being a doormat, just acquiescing to things and being like, no, I'm going to be more assertive. I'm going to stand up for myself. No is not a dirty word. It is a full sentence. I can reject things that I don't want to do. This is awesome. I'm more self-actualized. This is so cool. Oh, thank God, Lemon, you're here. Please, we need a hot freshman for the beauty pageant. What? The one that we were going to have, she moved away. She's doing, like, study abroad or something. Please, you're the only hot freshman we have left.
They sort of imply that it was active sabotage. I don't know how much of that was manipulative hard sell tactics.
I thought the implication there was that they bullied the girls into being, like, in the beauty pageant so much she chose to study abroad instead of deal with it.
I don't know. We don't really know enough about like the start of the whole thing, because it could honestly be either. We know they were hard selling after she dropped out. They could have been hard selling all along. Who knows?
Like, Ruby wonders if this girl had already been considering studying abroad and this just pushed her over that edge, or if this girl was just a run-of-the-mill, just pretty girl, and they literally, like, press ganged her. Because just, if you run in those circles, it's very high stress, very superficial. Yeah, I feel like there's more to that story than just, oh, she just up and decided to study abroad. You know, that's a big decision.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, she could have just been a flake and agreed to something that she didn't realize was a schedule conflict. That isn't a character. She's a silhouette.
Yeah.
The committee has been begging everybody, every female student with a pulse.
Every hot freshman they can find.
Because we announced in the student newspaper that we'd have the hottest freshman.
Which is a choice.
Please, Lemon, we need you. You're fashionable, you're cute. Look at that outfit you've got on. You were so proud of how cute it looked on you.
You're wearing pants with the thighs cut out. I don't even know what I'm looking at here.
Anyway, so yeah, that's how I ended up in the beauty pageant. Congratulations to us, I guess, because we do the body swap thing. This is a commitment for the next week.
This is a team effort now.
No!
What do you mean?
Oh, I'm sorry. It is so much trouble for me to inconvenience you. It's not like I was pretending to be you perfectly with your whole crazy plan on making Kogohara have so much fun on the date. No, it's cool. I can handle this by myself. Okay, fine, sure. Blackmail me, why don't you? I will, thank you.
Yeah, I guess that is kind of confirmation that Lemon does. She does know the situation. She's just not stopped to care about it.
She just has like an uwu face on going, oh, that sounded like blackmail, didn't it? Anyway, you're falling for it. He's like, yeah, fine, sure, I'll work with you on this. How hard can it be? Let me just Google the Taito University beauty pageant. Oh my god, there's multiple headlines about how this is like a foot in the door of the modeling industry. Oh no, this is actually a national event. Oh shit.
I should not have caved to this.
Oh no, the last winner had to go shoot like advertisements for the next month and a half. That's not gonna work.
And then we get chapter 8.
We also get like a rare Lemon internal monologue during all of this where it seems like, okay, he's bought on to doing the beauty pageant. Now we have a reason to spend time together. Indicating she did this on purpose.
I don't think she necessarily did that on purpose. She's just like, how can I turn this situation to my advantage? No.
The closest thing that Lemon has to a master plan is the happy accidents that happen while she yeets herself through walls.
Also, conveniently, all the important things she needs to do for the beauty pageant happen on Sunao days.
I don't know, like the way we're introduced to her is one thing, but that's one of the most like evil things that she does, because like that's an impulse, that's a reflex, that's not a good sign for her character. And I don't mean like character in a narrative sense. I mean like her as a human being.
Mm-hmm. Especially because she, when she's in Sunao's body, like basically admits, yeah, that beauty pageant was a whole bunch of effort I didn't want to do. Now I don't got to do it. It's great. That's Sunao's problem. Like, it's kind of shitty.
Yeah, a problem shared is a problem halved. It's a problem you forced on him.
You gave him all the hard parts and then ran away. And then actively made his life worse. And either she knows she actively made his life worse, or she's incompetent. Both are bad. Like,
listen, it's fine. He just needs to go and hand out some flyers at the mall. Nothing can possibly go bad. It's not like he's going to get mean girled by a bunch of senpais and then accidentally risk the hell out of Suzuka.
Yep, because Sunao and Lemon's body meets Suzuka.
Do you really want a girlfriend, or do you just want one of the boys that you can have sex with?
Yeah, because when Sam said earlier that Suzuka's an incel, what he meant was, this chapter is Suzuka giving an incel rant. Which, up until now, mildly out of character. But, it's...
The second he hears that it's a beauty pageant that Lemon is being involved in, he's just like, these shallow hussies thinking they can judge other people by outward characteristics alone. It's all crap. They should call it a crap pageant instead of a beauty pageant. I hate all these shallow bitches.
Sunao in Lemon's body just goes like, dude, cut this incel out right now. What the hell was that? Did you think that sounded cool? Like, what? Oh my god.
We are in public.
Calm it down 2 levels. Women are allowed to have personalities. Like, what the is this bullshit? You think I want to go on this beauty pageant stuff? No, but I'm doing a favor for a friend because I'm a good person. And he's just like, my god, she talked to me just like a bro, but had a body rocking like that. Hell, I want to f my best friend. Fucking hell, I want to f this woman I just met.
Woo! Maybe. Love is worth a chance.
Literally, guys just want to date the dude that they're secretly in love with.
If your friend had a vagina and rockin' tits, I'm just saying.
Sunao is trying so hard to like get out of the fact that he entered dude mode. Just like, I don't know, I mean, you're just kind of easy to talk to. Like, it's no big deal, man. Anyway. Whoa, I'm easy to talk to? You think I'm special?
Oh my god.
God, the sparkle eyes lost me. I was just like, yes, I do think
Why
you're
is he
special,
sparkling?
but not that way. Oh my god.
Why did he start sparkling? Oh god. What have I done?
Here's the thing about this. I really like this scene because the thing that it's getting at is the idea of having a personal connection and things in common and being friends is something that's kind of important for a relationship, because a lot of romance just, sticks two people together. Like, a lot of stuff gets called out for people just kind of sniping past each other, and that passes for romance in a lot of cases. The whole thing here is that they are friends, they want to be around each other, and that being the foundation for a relationship is like real and important. You have to want to spend time with them. It's part of the reason why Sunao and Kogagura have the chemistry that they do, because they're both film buffs and they both like films in the same way. They both like analyzing films. That's sort of like the foundation of their relationship that gets built up from there. There's the body swap aspect of, then when you add friendship aspects from Lemon onto Sunao, further enhances that. But one of the big things about Suzuka is he's the kind of character who is normally very reserved and doesn't really like sharing his opinions, but when he does have an opinion on something, he's really passionate about it, and he's willing to have his mind changed, but he has his
own hang-ups.
He has his hang-ups, but also his convictions for why he has the opinions that he does. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not going to call beauty pageants crap pageants in public to a perfect stranger, but there's a lot of elements of his personality that I pretty directly identify with. Like, I'm mature enough to only do this in the context of speaking with friends I trust and not just yelling this in public to a stranger. But the fact that it's so easy for the two of them to talk to each other being the basis for a relationship is actually real.
Oh yeah.
So I really like this scene from that perspective, because that's what it's getting at.
I agree with you. I just also think that it's very funny.
Well, yeah,
from the rom-com perspective.
If you did this in real life, yeah.
Yeah, it's literally the situation of, if circumstances were slightly different, Sunao and Suzuka would be a romantic couple.
They could be a couple if they were compatible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And dialing this sort of thing up to 11 is what the joke is. It's why it's funny. But there's real heart to this, and I really appreciate that.
It also leads to the fun moment of Sunao being like, "Oh crap! Did I just make my best friend fall in love with me in my ex's
body?"
Oh shit! No! Surely that didn't happen. There's no way that happened. Oh crap! His IMDb is nothing but romance movies.
I love the beauty pageant staff worker. I guess they're all volunteer, but the beauty pageant operator who just comes over and is just like, "Hey, stop talking with the talent. We're gonna, just for people's safety, just you can't have one-on-one time with the beauty contestants. They're kind of idols." So, and there's a little bit of column A that this is standard practice, and a little bit of column B of hey, you're looking real bad if you're just gonna start hitting up one guy in the beauty pageant. That's not what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless that guy happens to be a billionaire and is gonna bankroll her entire career. By all means, go for it, girl.
There's also a bit of the column C of just I can clearly tell by the body language that Lemon is uncomfortable right now. I'm going to interpose.
Yeah, all of the above.
Yeah, D, all of the above.
Also, she's definitely not doing the thing she said she was going to be doing, so maybe do the job you volunteered to do.
Yeah, A is important in that list.
Suzuka comes up to Sunao you know what? Romance movies are awesome. Actually, love is great. It just really lights up the entire world around you. And who are you and what have you done with my pride?
You know how...
I'm just having Vietnam flashbacks of the multiple times I've had to have meeting up with a friend who's just gotten into a new relationship, and I'm yeah, that's cool, man. Cool. Yep. Good for you.
You know how I said I identify with I identified in concept with Suzuka in the last chapter. This one is just dialed up to 11. And this version of him I identify with significantly less. It's really funny, but this is kind of who he is for most of the rest of our reading.
Hey, this is good. You don't happen to have a crush on anyone? I sure do. I met this cute girl the other day, Lemon. We really hit it off.
I love
We
him
were
so much in this chapter because this entire time they're like, no one's gonna have full sentences. He's just like, nope, I am into Lemon. This is her. This is a picture of her. There is no miscommunication here. This is exactly who I'm referring to. It is this woman. I am romantically interested in her.
And the whole time, Sunao is huffing that copium so hard.
No, I am
He
romantically interested in
refuses
her.
to acknowledge.
I wish to declare my love for her. When did you meet her? 2 days ago. There was a body swap day. Damn it.
He's in love with me.
Don't you want to kiss the homie goodnight?
He wants to kiss the homie goodnight.
Lemon, I need to talk with you. Listen, there's this guy who he's a fan.
Well, he says rooting for you a lot because he doesn't want to say they're just secretive about it for no reason. It's like, oh, well.
This is awkward. Okay, hang on. This is awkward. This would not be easy to communicate under normal
So, yeah,
stances.
and he is upholding his friend's trust because that trust was upheld. I'm not going to talk about relationship stuff he told me in confidence. Although, to be fair, it seems like the street is not going both ways with how Suzuka cares about other people knowing about these feelings. Because, like...
Well, I mean, what ultimately is going on here is a very realistic and natural thing. There's a lot of awkward elements where careful communication is important and not just spilling everything all at once because that would cause problems. And thus, people who are insecure about themselves are using that as an excuse to not say anything at all because anything at all is hard.
Yep.
You know what? Yeah, let's go with that. Is just Sunao actively lying. Like it's like he's making the thing worse.
Because that's easier than the alternative.
To be fair, the alternative was he could have done nothing. But
yeah.
Oh, meanwhile, Kokohara walks in on her best friend chatting up her crush on a phone call, but no one talks to each other about things.
There's ice cream. That's what's more important.
Girls love ice cream. Yeah. That's why they have separate ice cream. And they talk about their outfits because it's so cute.
Yes.
Very cute.
My friend had to cancel going on Sunday. And I'm wondering if her friend in this is Sunao. They don't say that, so I don't think so, but it is interesting.
Huh. Well, if Kokohara wants to go to the festival, but wait a minute. During the beauty pageant, where I would otherwise need to do the whole beauty pageant thing, I'm going to be in Sunao's body. So...
Better.
Next day, in Sunao's body, going up to Kokohara. Hey, you want to go to the Taita School Festival? You're asking me on a second date? I mean, sure.
Haha, she looks so funny because she's so much smaller than I'm used to. I'm gonna convey this with a flirty smile.
Why did he smile at me like that? Oh god, my heart is pounding out of my chest. Oh god, is that what the kids these days are doing? You are 1 year older than them. Slow your roll, lady.
They really started with that bit and dug into it. Holy shit.
I think it's very funny that she's like, I am 1 year older than them. That means that I am so much more aged and full of wisdom than them. Truly, I am like their big sister, guiding these innocent children through the dangerous world.
Previously, when she refused to get advice from Lemon, in part, it was because she was embarrassed asking someone younger than her. Again, it's a year. That does not count.
So anyway, because Lemon obviously needs to make everything as worse as possible, she then immediately decides she's going to invite Suzuka.
I know. I'll bring him along too. We'll have all the friends.
Man, I'm so smart.
Do it. Genius.
Narrator just pops up. Spoiler alert. She was not that smart.
Yeah.
I'm kind
Wishful
of wondering
thinking.
how she got into that school.
Well, we already established she's book smart, not people
Yeah, I was
smart.
gonna say there's a difference
not
between
people smart.
social intelligence and
There's a level
academics.
of book intelligence where she's just not understanding logistics, though, is the problem. Like,
Logistics or understanding how interpersonal relationships. This girl does not read nonfiction.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying.
I love how both Suzuka and Kogahara are completely flabbergasted by this. Just like
Suzuka.
I'm saying
both
if she
of
read
them
more,
are like, am I third wheeling?
Suzuka is
I'm just
such
saying
a bro.
this girl, if she read more romance novels, she would pick up on this.
Fair. Suzuka
She does
is
not.
such a good guy because he immediately clocks what's going on here. Immediately
Yes, because
goes,
he's watched all those rom-coms. He's an expert now.
Yeah, he's an expert now.
and he's also like, "Hey, this is the girl you were really worried about having like some nice alone time with. What's going on here?" But I'm gonna say this in such a way that Lemon won't pick up on what the real situation is because everyone speaks in half truths.
I've also forgotten that it's one of the off days for discussing your love life.
He never agreed to that, so I don't.
He never agreed to that.
True,
Yeah,
he never did. You're right.
Suzuka would never agree to that.
It's a stupid thing to agree to.
We'll get to the end of that. The end of the
Yeah.
our reading in a bit, but
There's a great scene where Lemon says, "We're best buds, aren't we?" with no heterosexual explanation for that pose.
It's very Bishi Sparkle. Okay, sure, bro. Yeah, we're best buds. That's totally why you're having me third wheel this date.
Oh, did you? Kogahara is just like, "Oh, we should go see how Lemon's doing." Wait, did you just say Lemon? Lemon Nishigawa? You know her? Yeah, that one. We're childhood friends. We've known each other for our entire life. There's strong implications we used to date.
And I'm her roommate.
Oh, God.
Small world.
I feel like some information has been left out.
The scene.
Do you also all hook up on the weekends? Like, that's the only next step, right?
That legitimately in this situation, like in this conversation, that's the only thing Suzuka can really jump to the conclusion of. Because he's just like, so when you were saying you had a whole bunch of drama with an ex, well, hold on, there's a lot of implications here. What? Why did you tell me you knew the woman I showed you a picture of yesterday?
Am I third wheeling or are you bringing me in as a fourth? What the hell is going on?
Is this a double date now?
Yes.
Why aren't you answering my questions? Why are you talking about food?
We're gonna go get rice balls later.
Oh, God. The scene has stopped focusing on me. The setting is going black.
What is
I'm nothing but a sketch. My God, what happens when the play ends? Do we cease to exist?
As we cut to Sunao in Lemon's body wearing a wedding dress.
Yeah, sure. So, are they all? Yeah, they're all wearing wedding dresses. That's right.
It's the wedding. So you have the swimsuit.
You don't have the swimsuit, and it's very offensive that you would even assume.
Yeah, they had a whole thing about that.
Yes. They don't have the swimsuit competition. They have wedding dress competition because that's better, I guess.
That's so much better. It technically is, but everything's relative.
Feels like you're not objectifying them as a sex object, I guess, but you're objectifying. I don't know.
Yeah,
Objectifying them in a different manner.
But there's more clothes on them,
Better
so it's
doesn't-
better, I guess.
better doesn't mean good.
But listen, we can't all have freaking legging Lululemon like outfits. Come on, because that would be the next. That would be the next pick of like athletic wear.
Excuse me, speak for yourself.
All right, and for our next competition in the beauty pageant, we're going to see how well Juicy stretches out on our contestants' butts.
Dude, Sam, you're dating
Oh,
yourself.
no.
Please don't.
Oh my God, you're so old.
Oh, and I love this. The coordinator's just like, hey, Lemon, you've got visitors. These 3 people have walked in. Hi, Lemon, we're here. Oh,
Why
hey.
did you do this?
Oh, hey, the 3 people I never wanted to see together at the same time? What's going on?
Excuse me, allow me just to grab my... The 2 of us are going to go in this corner and have an angry, close conversation with each other. And Suzuka just immediately hops over, just like, hey, buddy, we're gonna have a talk here, cause what the fuck's going on here?
Hey, best friend Sunao, what's going on? Why are you having this conversation with your childhood friend like this? This seems a bit strange. Oh, crap, she told him, didn't she?
Also, why didn't you mention you knew her in the long conversation we had about her? That's kind of a dick move. Author note.
Kind of was.
Lemon's an expert on dick moves.
It kind of was a dick move, but I can't admit to that now. Meanwhile, Kogar is standing over there just like, aw, it's so nice seeing my younger friends hitting it off.
No thoughts, head empty.
Wow. Younger people the same age sure get along super well.
You are in the same generation!
Also, this is insane because they're giving her a pristine white wedding dress, and there was a whole thing about not messing it up and that you shouldn't be interacting one-on-one with the public, and then they're just like, okay, break time, all the contestants are allowed to do whatever the fuck they want for the next hour and some change. I'm like, hold on, what?
Alright, so we're gonna go to the Taito Film Festival, we're going to watch the movie, and oh crap, Lemon's falling asleep, wake up, do not fall asleep in my body to a movie. I bumped Suzuka. I can't pay attention.
This is showing an example where like we had the previous movie that Lemon like got really into, and they had like a really cute moment, and here's a point where Lemon is just not, vibing with it, and this is like a problem that would have to be overcome. Suzuka is having to deal with being on the periphery of this.
Yeah.
God, the way they picked seats is really indicative of the entire manga, isn't it? It's the two main characters sitting in the middle, sandwiched by love interest.
Love interests who are not bought into what's actually going on.
Mm-hmm.
And the sort of funny thing is, the two who seem to be like the most aligned in the sense of watching the movie are the two who are farthest apart from each other.
Yeah.
I don't know. We get an internal monologue of Suzuka that seems he's also kind of not vibing with the movie. He's just vibing on like, oh my god, she's so close to me. I am within her presence. Awesome. This is amazing. I can't believe her beauty pageant just gave her like an hour and a half to just walk around and do whatever the fuck she wants in a wedding dress. Those things aren't cheap. Like, I don't... This logistically doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, but then the chapter couldn't happen.
Maybe it didn't need to happen. I don't...
But the next part's a lot of fun because Lemon in Suno's body and Kokahara go off to get some rice balls, and it's like, I'm not gonna do that because I can't get this dress dirty. I'm just gonna sit here. Suzuka, please stop hitting on me. This is so awkward. You know what? I'm sick of this. This is so awkward. He's actively saying that he loves me and is trying to go out with me right now.
Hold on. I do want to talk about this scene because this is amazing. Because
it is pretty amazing.
We're expecting rom-com bullshit, and they're sitting down, and the second he gets a chance, he's just like, hey, I was just wondering, are you single? Because if, are you interested in anyone? Oh, well, you're not answering. It's just like, so I change the subject. Let's talk about cotton candy. I'm really good at making cotton candy. But also, I noticed you tried to change the subject here, but I really do have something I want to ask you. I'm in love with you, and I would like to know if you would reciprocate those feelings.
Because he's the one person in this group that communicates.
He's just like, stop hitting on me. I'm like, he's not really even hitting on you. He's just full on just like, hey, we had a good time together. Would you like to like continue this relationship on a more formal level? It's just like,
Oh god, I can't say no. Well, I tried to say no, and then he's like, can you at least like tell me, like, if it's a problem with myself, I would like to work on it for the future.
Do you have any feedback for my next crush?
Or even just to like have an explanation. It's like, it's not you, it's me. Okay, that's a cop-out. If you could actually give me something, like, I would really appreciate it. I also have some severe hang-ups about my physical appearance because of my past, and it would be really great if you didn't like accidentally feed into that by just arbitrarily saying you don't want to be with me and, oh, screw it, I'm Suno!
I love the fact that like, what? This is the kind of thing that's not supposed to happen, and the main character just reads another character in on the plot.
So, amusingly, as I was doing my reading, I was chatting with my girlfriend, and she's like, "Oh yeah, what are you reading for the podcast this week?" And I was giving her a synopsis of the manga. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, they've got this body swap thing going on, but it's so quirky because they're trying not to let anybody else know." Literal next page I read was that one. Never mind. The main character gave up.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that doesn't normally happen, but like, here's the thing. That's a reasonable thing to do, and he actually kind of explains why. If there's anybody he can trust with this information, it's Suzuka. So why wouldn't he tell him at this point? Like,
Yeah.
the reason he can't reciprocate is because he's not actually Lemon. And like, there's the element of, and actually the rest of the chapter is going to be going into that. There's the element of, you know, what was Suzuka actually attracted to? Was he attracted to, you know, Lemon's appearance, or was it the personality? Was it a combination of the two? Because one of the things I noted that I find a little bit interesting, I should have mentioned this earlier when they were in the here's my Reddit opinions scene, but Sunao is actually like a lot more aggressive, direct, and is like quicker to put his foot down on his opinions and say things out loud in Lemon's body, because he has that extra layer of the fact that it's not him saying it, so he can kind of let himself go a little bit. But then he catches himself before he goes too far, because he realizes, oh wait, I'm speaking with Lemon's voice, and I don't want that to color people's opinions of her. So it's like there's an element of Sunao is a little bit different from his normal self in Lemon's body as well, which is something that Suzuka at this point has to grapple with. Like, it's not as cut and dry as, like, you know, I want to bang the homies or anything like that. There's a lot, like, the interplay of
layers of social protection are weird.
Yeah. But I love the fact that, like, it would be so easy for the main character to, like, either come up with some excuse or to, like, create some kind of, like, either comedy or drama shenanigans. But him just saying the truth and then proving it by knowing things that Lemon couldn't. That's such. I appreciate that, of not just doing the normal rom-com thing.
Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun where he's just like, "Oh, you're just coming up with something ridiculous in order to reject me without explaining why." No, listen, I have knowledge of your past that Lemon could not. I'm going to explain why you are a platinum blonde when in all of your flashbacks you have black hair. How do you know that? Because I'm telling you, it's me, dude.
And he's just like, yeah, I'll buy into this. And then, to be fair, the next thing he does is verify this with Sunao, with Lemon in Sunao's body when they're not connected to each other, in such a way that's just like, well, obviously this isn't a thing they set up, because, like, they're both idiots.
Yeah.
They're neither of them are this good at lying.
I do like the way that's done, because it comes off as him just saying, "Oh, by the way, I've been bought into the plot by the main character," but it's also just like, "Hey, Lemon, how's it going? I'm not her. What are you talking about? He told me already. Oh, god damn it. Okay."
I also like how, in order to facilitate that scene, man, Kokohara gets really just... There's a panel of just like, "Oh no, a lost child. I am an older adult responsible woman. I will help you find your mommy." And then, like, neither of the other two decide they want to help like this lost child. It's just, yeah, fuck, have fun with that. We're gonna deal with this.
It's implied that
they didn't
don't
notice her walking off. Yeah, because they turn around and she's missing.
Oh, where'd she go? Anyway, we're having this conversation. We'll find her later.
Yeah, from a writing perspective, because this is...
It's extremely convenient.
Yeah, because the whole point of this scene is addressing kind of the thing, like we've been joking about it, but this scene, like, directly addresses the idea of, like, Suzuka doesn't really know what his feelings are. He doesn't know what part of these two people that he is, like, most meaningfully attracted to, and he's just kind of open and honest about the fact that I've got some things I need to work through, so just so you know, I'm read in on this, and I'll help with what I can, but I've I've got some feelings, and you should know about that.
Also, I'm really
again-
into you. Like, in a romantic sense. And I'm glad I fell in love with you.
But, like, I'm not entirely sure if I'm emotionally connected to you or Sunao. Your body is rocking. Don't get me wrong. But I might just be, like, feeling an emotional connection to my friend vis-a-vis you. But also, like, love is kind of cool. It's strange. I've learned a lot about myself. So thank you, even though you did nothing.
Except be rockin' hot. Which, that does have a
Still,
lot
thank
going
you.
for it.
That is not an insubstantial factor. I do also like that I don't remember exactly where it is, but there's one point where Suzuka does actually, like, in his head be like, I was really attracted to the voice and thoughts of my male best friend.
In lemons, but I should unpack that later.
Not great how I feel about that. There's also a whole subplot with Sunao on stage just fucking throwing this competition to drastically try and be part of this combo that realistically has almost no way of understanding from the distance they're communicating at. But
trying to do charades to be just like, I told him about the plot.
This is almost entirely Suzuka's scene is what this is here for. Again, we have a character, and, like, honestly, one of the things I really like about this is, you know, like, talking about rom-com tropes and the fact that, like, you know, to some degree, lack of communication, because, like, a lot of times the lack of communication is actually justified by character, because these are a lot of like, three of these people are very insecure, and you know, they'll default to dodging problems rather than actually addressing them. But, like, there's also cases where there's justification in them not communicating, so it spirals. But, like, it's also a standard rom-com trope to just not have people talk earnestly about their feelings, because that's how you end the story. Like, that's what it's all building to. We have a character who just does not want to deal with that, refuses to do that, and yet it still works because, like, his perspective is, because of the body swapping shenanigans, this has made me consider things about myself that I need to, like, really think about and address. But then the coda, the ending to this chapter is, oh, by the way, we're sticking you four together in a double date. Bye!
I love the build up to that of, like, hey, by the way, the prize is a ticket for two to a resort. And they're like, oh, well, obviously this shouldn't be the two of us. Meanwhile, Lemon's like, obviously this should be the two of us. We did all the work. The two of us should go and share this hotel room together. I see no problem with this. It's just like,
wait, it's two.
It's two tickets for two.
It's 2 tickets for 2 to not Disneyland, which Lemon got for being in second place.
There is a level of you want to talk about contrivances for the sake of rom-com plot. The fact that Lemon managed, or the fact that the two of them managed to get second place, so that, like, you know, it's like, hey, there was a level of success here, but not first place, because that would have carried baggage. That's some rom-com convenience. Especially because the entire pageant happened off panel.
The pageant, she was also, like, Sunao was actively throwing by doing, like, nonsense charades during the presentation point. Unless the moral of the story was beauty pageants are inherently just, like, about physical attractiveness and everything else is a cherry on top. That's why she got second place, because Lemon is just that hot. I do like the subtle implication that the second place prize was finagled by Staff Girl, who's just like, so now that the thing's over, you can take anybody you want on a romantic amusement park date. But I'm not going to get involved in any love life that may or may not exist. While looking directly at Suzuka, she thinks she's doing a good job.
She thinks she's helping so much, and you know what? Good for her.
Well, to be fair, she does say, Kay, have fun. I expect tea. So she's just like, yeah, I hope you get nasty, and I hope you tell me all about it. Like, I want to know the details.
Can we get her name and have her be a recurring character? That last line of "I expect tea" might make her my favorite character.
That'd be great. Anyway, since it'd be way too awkward for just Lemon and I to go on this fancy Disney resort date together, good thing we've got 2 tickets for 2. Hey, Kogahara, Suzuka, you're coming along too, right?
Suzuka is
There's
so
also-
on board, and Kogahara is just like, I'm really new in this relationship. This is weird.
Is this actually a foursome? What's happening?
And I do also like, to some extent, we see Lemon and Sunao, like, this is part of their connection, because normally Sunao is not this impulsive, but the two of them are of the exact same mind. They're trying to make it less awkward by not
just be the 2 of them.
but that just makes it more awkward because of the 2 people who happen to be here. Like, this was a stupid impulsive decision that made it worse. Good job.
Well, we had an entire chapter and a half of interpersonal communication and introspection. We can continue having the benefit of that for character development, but more manga needs to happen. So
The plot needs to continue. So somebody in this foursome has to make stupid decisions, and I guess it's the 2 of us this time.
But this brings us to the end of our readings. So, favorite character. I'm not gonna lie, it's Suzuka. He was trying his best. He thought that he was being genre savvy in the entirely wrong genre, and I can't help but respect that. Something about a guy being like, I know I've got bad opinions because of previous trauma. I haven't worked them out yet. I will continue to have them in the meanwhile. Just that level of self-awareness is entertaining.
Well, and not just self-awareness. I like the fact that he does actually change his opinion when he's
confronted, yeah.
Yeah. It's funny in the moment, but he doesn't become obnoxious or unlikable because he is willing to grow and change.
Exactly. And him getting dealt into the plot just added so much more room for shenanigans. It evolved the formula just enough to continue to be spicy, and I'm very happy about that. Because to be honest, my ability to withstand secondhand cringe can only endure so much just to fucking talk to each other for so long. So having a guy who will, in universe, say just fucking talk to each other is nice. Jacob, how will you agree with me on this?
See, that's the thing. He is simultaneously one of my favorite him because I see so much of myself in him, and that makes me viscerally hate him for obvious reasons. Yeah, and I will say there is a part of me that actually kind of didn't like the fact that they injected him into the story the way that they did.
That could have definitely been more elegant.
Not only could that have been more elegant, but also in a sense of moving forward, because one of the things that I was most engaged with was the 3 mains and how they both from a standpoint of romance and from a standpoint of friendship interact with each other, the ways in which they bounce off of each other, and sort of the idea of here's a love triangle where there isn't an obvious solution, you know?
Yeah.
So injecting this 4th character into it, basically just throwing a rock at the pond, there was a part of me that was I feel like you're either doing this too soon or just shouldn't have done it at all. But it's sort of funny because it's when I was reading that, I had the more time we spent with him, the more I liked him, and the more I got what he was doing from a character perspective. And even as we were discussing it, it's in the beginning I sort of implied some disparaging opinions on him, but as we talked about him, like I said, there's a lot. The character is way better used than my initial fears, and I feel like that's going to keep going forward. All of that to say, my favorite character is actually Lemon, because she might be a horrible person, but she might be a horrible person, but you can be a horrible person and a great character. In all honesty, I think the reason I like Lemon so much is because she has so much room to grow and be a better person. She's kind of awful right now. She's pretty irredeemable right now, but like, you can see she has a want and an intention to be better. And like, I'm sorry, but all the tea is going to be like from her being the source. You know, like, not for nothing, there is definitely going to be some like big dramatic trauma dump at some point where we find out that like Lemon got like abused by her parents or something. You know, like there's a reason why she acts this way, and like that's gonna be some like big reveal down the line. And I honestly am mostly engaged because I want to see that develop. But I also like all four of the main characters, so Lemon just stands out as the one with the most potential.
Indeed. Matt, how about you? Favorite character?
First, I'd like to say, Sam, shame on you for thinking Jacob wouldn't back the sapphic-coated, blonde-haired woman.
You know,
I had faith. You're just like, he liked this character, and I'm like, no, he didn't. There's a blonde woman in this manga.
Yeah. I knew that the sapphic coating was all in Sunao's head. Blonde is all you need.
You heard it here, ladies.
Yep.
To the couple of ladies who listen to this podcast.
Hey. We've got a higher percentage than a couple. Not much higher, but... but yeah, favorite character, I gotta go with Suzuko. This is Suzuka. Only because just the idea of making a rom-com and then throwing in a character who's just like, nope, I am going to outright state that I love this person. I'm going to just declare feelings. I'm going to tell you you're being stupid and that your whole contrived thing you did last chapter was wrong. And he's just like, no, I need the plot to happen because holy shit, are the other three main characters so fucking passive. I don't... Even Lemon with her golden retriever act, like, energy, doesn't do things that forward the plot. She just lets shit happen to her.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
And, like, the story needs to happen, so someone needed to do that.
Yeah, there's a fine balance between... we need the story to actually happen and move forward, but we also don't need it to, like, just end in a chapter.
I think there's also a little bit of the, like, if you have your characters take action and do things, that allows the audience to judge them morally. So they're playing it safe by not actually letting them make choices so that you can be like, see, they're just victims of circumstance. And it's just like, that's kind of shitty, but...
Yeah.
You don't want to give people an edge to grab onto and hate, I guess. But yeah, Suzuka is my favorite by like a long margin. I do have a lot of sympathy for Kokohara because she does not deserve to be in this.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Jay?
There is no good ending for Kokohara, by the way. Like,
yeah.
True.
Yeah. To that point, my favorite was actually Kokohara because she does not belong in the manga and it's terrible. And I was most sympathetic to her plight, which is she does not know the horror in which she has found herself in. So, though I had to say that... Yeah, so, I have to say, though, that my favorite, most entertaining character was Suzuka, as previously stated, he was the one who helped advance the plot and helped call people out and help people... Well, he didn't really help, but he did help, call things out for being ridiculous. Which is a lot of ridiculousness. A lot of shenanigans was happening. And I thank you that, at least in universe, there was someone else who saw it for what it was. So, yes.
It's also kind of nice that he had the audience eye view of how stupid people were being, but even after he got dragged into it, he still like stayed in character.
Yeah.
And was able to just continue being the voice of reason.
It's like, you guys, I'll leave you guys to your shenanigans. But by golly, it is shenanigans, and I just want you guys to be aware of it.
Indeed. I think we've kind of covered our our thoughts on the plot. Any plot predictions going forward? Really, I'm just waiting for when Kokohara gets
When
enlightened.
she gets brought into the fold, and either she's into it or very, very, very like.
Oh my god, that would be so funny.
Yeah.
Because like the other three are all like, "Oh, this is so awkward. I hate this." If it turns out Kokohara is like totally fine with it, that would be so funny.
And it's just like a huge relief. It's like, oh god, thank you. I thought you guys like something else was going on. How good of a romantic sleuth are you? Or a religious sleuth are you? I thought I was the crazy one, because come on, guys.
Whoa. So you're saying that I can choose between my movie crush and, like, my best friend, and I can flip-flop on which body they're currently in? Nothing but choices for me. Plus,
I don't think
Suzuka's in here on the side piece? Damn.
I don't think that's going to happen, but that would be unbelievably funny.
That would be hysterical.
That's my prediction.
Here's how I solve this love triangle. I'm into both ends of this triangle.
Yes!
Here's how I solve this love triangle. It's actually a love pyramid, and I am at the top of the vertice.
Excuse
That is
hold on.
how you assert dominance.
Excuse me.
Yes. I am your senpai.
Kokohara is at the bottom of that love period, and you know. She is by no means a top in anything.
True.
You're topping from the bottom. Oh.
Okay, and would you continue reading? Like I said, I can only handle so much secondhand cringe because just fucking talk to each other at a time.
That would ruin it, though.
I am very intrigued. I would at least read through the next plot point of the four-way date to not Disneyland, because that sounds like it'll be very funny. After that, I will reevaluate, but at least that next cliffhanger, I am willing to hold on for. How about you, Jake?
So I've mentioned in plenty of episodes that the thing I care about most is characters. It's a rom-com. The plot is shit. Like, that's sort of default. There's nothing really... I can't think of any way of dealing with a rom-com that doesn't have all of the problems this has. But because I love the characters, and these characters are great, and I love their dynamic, and like the way in which they interact with each other, and like the ideas of it's like who's compatible with who in what way. Like, this is just a fun character study, and I'm perfectly willing to turn a blind eye to the rom-com plot aspect of it, just because these characters are so much fun to watch interact. It's almost like a people watch, because it's not even necessarily the comedy, because it's like it is funny, but like that usually isn't enough to keep me around. It's like I want to see, like there's so many places where like this could get like really dark and dramatic, and there are so many places where it's just like exploring the idea of like the weird relationships that these people have with each other as a sort of like a kind of people watching aspect to it. So it's not going to be high on my list, but whilst that normally means I'm never going to get around to it, it's not going to be high on my list, but it's not going to be low enough that I won't get around to it. I definitely want to read this.
Nice. How about you, Jay?
So I hear what you and Jacob are saying, and I have to say I don't know. If I had the opportunity, absolutely would continue reading. However,
for you, it is low enough on the list, you probably won't.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
There is Kaiju number 8 and Chainsaw Man to keep up on.
Yes, which I am on. So, yeah.
Excellent. And Matt.
Why you guys always got to leave me to the end to be the bad guy? So, I don't know. This plot is barely there. It's a lot of me watching stupid people not, like, communicate. And it's just... Suzuka helped cut the tension there and then kind of just joined the thing. And, like, it's fun. I'm morbidly curious in how the amusement park goes. But I think, for me, like, the main crux of this is that Lemon did such an incredibly shitty thing in, like, regards to the tone of the series.
True.
I don't really feel like I have any faith that with the tone the manga has presented, they'll deal with it in a way that I would find fulfilling. Because, like, I think just genuinely, I don't think she actually has any remorse, because maybe she doesn't know she hurt anybody, but, like, regardless, that doesn't make her worthy of, like, forgiveness. And it's just...
That's fair.
Everyone's just being so friendly. It also doesn't matter anymore, because they've clearly, like, patched that over, and it's just like... I don't know. It's very clearly someone needed a sting for their first chapter and didn't want to actually write about it, but we need something to go in the paragraph. So that if people read a paragraph about manga, they're like, we have to read this. And I think I've read enough of this that I know what I was sold in that paragraph is never going to get, like, a satisfying conclusion for me. So I'm kind of done.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think any of us gave it a strong yes. So
Yeah, I think
we're with you to varying degrees.
Yeah, I think the big thing is like, do you vibe with the characters, yes or no? And do you have faith that the other shoe is going to drop at some point and they're going to take the inciting incident seriously? And it's like, not thinking that they're actually going to let the other shoe drop the conflict seriously is, a fair assessment. Personally, the reason I'm more into it is because I feel like they've set up that they are going to do that, but your mileage might vary on how long you're willing to wait for that to happen, if it ever does. So,
and thank you everybody once again for tuning into the Over Manga Cast. As always, you can find us on all your social medias where we are at Over Manga Cast.
You can also find us on YouTube where you can like, comment, and subscribe. We also have overmangacast.com where you can catch up with our up-to-date episodes. We've got a bit of a new schedule, so hopefully it'll be easier for anyone who's fallen behind to catch up on the new stuff, and give us comments on what you want us to read, what your opinion is on what we read this week, anything you want.
And as always, we appreciate reviews and recommendations in any and all forums. Reach out to us over mangacast@gmail.com, overmangacast.com. I mean, wherever. We're a place. If you can see Over Mangacast, give us 5 stars. Write it on the side of a wall. Do graffiti. There are no gods or kings. There's only you. Do it. Do it.
Do it.
And we're starting a cult again.
Speaking of doing it, by the way, Sam, what are we reading next time?
That was not what I thought you were getting ready to ask.
Next
Sam,
time,
if you had a vagina,
that might be getting a bit too incestuous, which is really saying something for what we're reading next time. It's Eagle, The Making of an Asian American President, Volume 5. We're finishing the series. God bless America, and we'll see you all 2 Thursdays hence. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
God bless
night.
America.
I love America so goddamn much, and I love Eagle anymore. I just want it to be good. That's all I want.